I am the Nightrider. I'm a fuel-injected suicide machine. Hey guys, Alex Khan here, and I'm super excited to show you this 1/24 scale diecast made by Diecast Distributors Australia, and I think it was manufactured by Greenlight Collectibles. I don't know the order in which this car was made because I always get confused by those details. But before I go into this car, let's look at this box really quick, and I will talk about the inaccuracies and how this car was used in the movie, but I do want to look at the box. So yeah, the box says first of the V8 Interceptors, and it's very interesting. It does say a 1972 HQ Monaro Pursuit, but I will talk more about that later on because there seem to be some discrepancies between which year this car was actually made. And it's a limited edition, and I love the box. Even though it's a 1/24 scale box, it's a bit smaller than the MFP 1/18 scale I showed you guys a while back. But the box is still cool. It's got the Australian flag on it, and you can see different angles of the car. And it says it features a modified front and rear spoilers, custom bonnet scoop, Sunraysia and mag wheels, interior roof radio, and police light. And yeah, it doesn't seem to have much information on the limited edition number, but you will see that it does have the number on the bottom of the undercarriage, and I happen to have number 48. As to how many they made of these, I do not know, but I do know they made a 1/18 scale, I think a resin model back in the day, but that one's so hard to find and it's too expensive and nothing opens on it. But yeah, this car, I waited almost 2 months to get this. It came all the way from Australia. So when I finally did get it, I was kind of surprised, and I forgot that I actually bought this. But yeah, the Nightrider's Suicide Machine. If you guys don't know this car, it came from the very first Mad Max movie, and everybody knows just how crazy this driver was. If you had seen the movie, he's always screaming into the intercom because he did steal this pursuit special from the MFP. But he's being chased by two interceptors, and he's also being chased by Jim Goose, who's on a motorcycle. When all three of those guys fail epically, that's when Mad Max gets involved. But yeah, you see this car in the opening scene of Mad Max, made in 1979, and that opening scene takes about 12 minutes, 11 minutes. So you see this car for a very good amount of time, and it does get wrecked pretty hard. I don't know if you guys had seen the movie, but you really should see this movie. You hear that, toe cutter? I am the Nightrider. Sorry guys, I'm like so into this right now. So let's talk about some of the inaccuracies with this car, and there aren't many though. The biggest inaccuracy is look how clean this car is. It is not clean when you first see this in the movie. It's already damaged, and I don't know if it got damaged when they were taking the Nightrider into custody and when he steals this car. If you guys remember in the first part of the movie, when it first opens, they talk about how the Nightrider was in custody in Sun City, and he breaks out of custody and he steals his car. So I don't know. It might have been clean looking, but when we first see this car, it's already banged up. So I'm assuming it got banged up when he stole the car from the MFP. But let's talk about some of the inaccuracies outside of the cleanliness. It should not be this clean. So starting from the back, these tailpipes should be silver or chrome. As you get over here to the side, there are no intakes here, or no vents on the side of the movie car. I don't know if you can see that, but that does not belong. And on the front here, maybe the clean version has this, but when you see this car, this little lip looking thing does not exist right there by the bumper. It's just, I don't know what that little groove is, but it does not exist on the movie car. And then the other inaccuracies are actually inside the car, so I'm going to have to open this up. So I don't know if you can see this, but this dashboard is inaccurate. Hold on, let me get some light on that. So you can see the dashboard. That is not the way the dashboard looks in the movie, and I know that because I took some screenshots. But yeah, it's oh, by the way, let me show you this really quick. The wheels, it does turn the hold on, let me get this light over here. Oh shoot, sorry. The steering wheel does turn with the front wheels. The whole interior should be tan. But that's really about it. All the major inaccuracies with this model. And sorry, I knocked the camera over. But yeah, the Nightrider steals this car, and he's actually barefooted when he's driving it. And if you look closely, he's actually still wearing the handcuffs that he was wearing when he was in custody by the MFP. And some of you guys watched this movie and you're still puzzled as to why the Nightrider has this big mood swing when Max is chasing after him. I think it's kind of twofold, and you kind of gather more of that in the book. This book's hard to get, by the way, the Mad Max book. But the people who steal these cars or drive them really fast, knowing that they're going to be chased by the MFP, they always pump themselves up with amphetamine. So I'm assuming when the amphetamine wears off, that's when they get a huge mood swing, and I think that's what happened to the Nightrider. He went berserk, as they say on the police scanners, and that just fits in with the book where he took amphetamine, got really pumped up, and when it wore off, he got really sad. And then I think the other big reason for him getting really sad is that Max is just as crazy as he is. Like, Max plays chicken with the Nightrider. Let me open this stuff up here. And it's hard opening up the passenger door here because the windows is closed on that side. This car is not an Interceptor. It's a Pursuit Special. Max's black car in the first movie, that is not an Interceptor, it's a Pursuit Special. Pursuit Specials are made to be more discreet and more undercover. That's why they're painted different colors compared to the Interceptors. The Interceptors are yellow, red, blue, or some kind of variation of those colors, whereas the Pursuit Specials are, a more discreet color, something that can blend in, I suppose. The box says this car is a 72 Monaro, but on the bottom here, the bottom of this car, it says it's a 73. Which one is it, guys? 72 or 73? But yeah, this car was involved in a really cool stunt scene, which kind of failed. Like, they actually tried putting a rocket right up its rear. And unfortunately, when they launched the rocket, the car was out of control. It did not do what they thought it was going to do. So the filmmakers had to edit the footage, quote-unquote, cleverly to make it look like it did something remotely close to what they wanted. But if you guys watched the big explosion at the end of the beginning scene, you would see that this car is flying backwards. Like, it does not make any sense. It's just illogical. But it all happens so fast, and it also involves the Nightrider getting his eyes looking all cartoonish like, kind of like in Pee Wee Herman, when their eyes get really big. But yeah, this car is really cool, and I wish more people would appreciate the Holden Monaro that is only seen in the very first movie, because this car is just as sweet as the Ford Falcon the Ford Falcon Pursuit Special that Max gets later on as a bribe. But yeah, that's my big this is my big video for the day. I have not seen anyone talk about this diecast on YouTube. Maybe someone has by now, but when I was checking for the last few years, I never found anyone talking about this car. It's really sweet.